Good morning. Here we are again. Um, just on my way to work.
Police reported ahead.
Need to be careful about that. But I'm hands free today. So if I don't look at the camera, it's because I'm driving and I'm trying to be responsible, but I have some thoughts and need to get them out of my head. So here we are. Um, for those of you who don't know me, I am pretty political. I have opinions, and I'm not afraid to talk about them. I'm not, um, I'm not where I would be as far as, I'm not an expert on any issue. These are just my opinions formed by life lessons and um, general care for other people. Um, anyway, right now, there has been a case.
Construction reported ahead.
I hate the announcements. There has, especially the construction ones, by the way, because construction on 95 will be going on forever. And I use Waze because it's a little bit more accurate as far as things that are in the road or the police thing a minute ago or what have you. It tends to be a little bit more accurate because it's self reported. But I do wish they would do one thing Google does, which is as far as traffic information, I wish they'd just go ahead and just put it in there for the whole entire time that the construction is going to be going on, and just, hey, construction from exit blah 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 to exit blah blah blah. Can we please do that? Or mile marker blah 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 to mile marker blah blah blah. Please fix that, because the self-reporting of construction, I've literally had it every 2 seconds one time, every 2 seconds, all the way from my home on the interstate to my work on the interstate, which is quite a ways. Anywho, back to topic at hand. I'm pretty political. I share my opinions freely. I have a lot of people who disagree with me, and that's fine. Um, I appreciate discourse if we're talking about policies. I'm not, or even tactics. Like, I'm okay with discussing political tactics. Um, Name calling, I'm not a fan. I'm not above it. Um, I have absolutely done that, and I shouldn't. And but I'm human, and we make mistakes, and there we go. So now, as far as today's video goes, there is a case going up in front of the Supreme Court um, from a clerk of some county's court, Kim Davis, from several years ago. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, she's an evangelical Christian who is anti-gay marriage, and she, in her position with the government, granted state government, county government, um, still government, still a state body, um, had refused to issue marriage certificates for same-sex couples who are wanting the same rights as the rest of us to get married. Um, and Obergerdeld was the decision that the Supreme Court made, which Kennedy was behind at that point in time. By the way, um, he anyway, that was the law. That was the decision that allowed same sex couples to get married, and Kim Davis didn't like it, and she refused to do that. I guess claiming religious freedom or states' rights or whatever. Here's the thing: our U.S. Constitution, um, in the First Amendment, says that you have freedom of religion. Now, some people are of the mindset of freedom of religion means that I should be able to practice my religion however I want, and to a degree, that's correct. And they believe that that should extend to whatever position that they hold. And I agree with that. However, if you work for the government, if you are a part of the government, what this actually means, is that the government, the state, whether it's state government, federal government, county government, city government, doesn't matter. Government cannot establish or back any particular religion, or lack thereof. So this person, while being a member of the government by way of employment, was trying to extend her religious beliefs to someone else and can't do that per the First Amendment. And if I recall correctly, that's kind of how that Obergerdeld decision came down. So now she is taking her case because she's been fined, because she didn't do her job, because she was anti First Amendment, um, by way of trying to establish a religion by way of her role as a member of the government at that point in time, effectively establishing a religion, um, for the state. And in state, I'm using like big S here, not little s. Um, and if you don't know the difference, big state means as in state is another word for government. Um, Little s is like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, etc. Yes, I did that in alphabetical order. Anywho, um, I said all that to say this. This particular case, I'm going to lump it also in with the Dobbs case. For those of you who aren't aware, that's in effect the case that ended Roe v. Wade. Um, and I know there's going to be people who are going to be like, it didn't. It just brought it to the states. Blah blah blah. Whatever. It in essence it did. It ended up Roe v. Wade, and the protections that Roe v. Wade offered for individuals who need a medical procedure, a very specific medical procedure, but a medical procedure nonetheless. They this and that, the Obergefell, the Dobbs, these are all cases being brought by in essence, the Republican Party. The Republican Party has been crying for a long time freedom. Um, we want our freedom to do this. We want our freedom to do that. We are the patriots. We are the people who defend this country, defend democracy. We are the party of freedom. However, I've noticed something very recently. You don't hear that cry from the Republican Party anymore. The GOP is no longer the party of freedom. They can't claim that word anymore because you have now stripped, for the first time ever with the Dobbs decision, you stripped rights of patients to make decisions with their doctors. If they go through, if the Supreme Court does not uphold Obergefell, you have now stripped families of the ability to pursue happiness, which is a basic human right. It's not even in one of the amendments. It is a part of the Constitution first and foremost. Like the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit to be able to love somebody and be happy with that person and spend the rest of your lives with that person. Like I how do you make this make sense? How do you make this make sense? How can you be a decent person and be okay with the fact that people can't just be people? How can you be okay with the fact that you can look at your neighbor and be like, because you are a certain way, you don't deserve the same access to healthcare, the same access to what is effectively a business decision. So that's going to be a really controversial statement. Let me explain. Two people can live together and be perfectly happy together and share life together and share finances together, share all of this stuff, but not be married. Doesn't matter whether you're gay, straight, poly, whatever. You can live these lives and never have that piece of paper issued by the state, big S, not little s, stating that you guys are joined. You have to go and apply for a license The license has to be granted, and then you're allowed to go into this legally binding contract called marriage. Um, Weddings is the parties surrounding a legally binding marriage. You can have a wedding and not be legally married. There, look it up online. There are stories all the time of couples who forgot to get a marriage license before their wedding day and end up having to do it later, or because of logistics, they decide to just tie the knot and then later on down the line have a wedding. My husband and I are in that boat. We never had a wedding. We got married. We got married at a courthouse, in a legal proceeding, um, not a religious one, not a celebratory one. Um, but we are no less married than somebody who was married and had a big party and a big wedding and had it at a religious institution or what have you. We are no less married than they are. If we want to dissolve that union, we would have to go through the legal procedures to do that. It's legal, right? Um, he can carry me on his insurance, which is a financial business thing. He can carry me on his insurance because I'm his legal spouse. Um, I have the right to visit him in the hospital as his legal spouse. I have the right to make decisions for him in the case that he is incapacitated because I am his legal spouse. Um, it is a legal document, nothing more. This whole idea that marriage is religious or faith based is baloney. If that was the case, then atheists shouldn't get married too. Let's go ahead and extend that let's take their freedoms away too idea with this whole trying to turn over Obergerdeld. Um, it's absolutely asinine, and I am just so angry that the word freedom is um, and patriotism, that's a whole nother video, but that these words are being associated and have been co-opted by this party who wants to take freedoms away from people. And now you have somebody the likes of Pete Hegseth, I don't know why his last name is so hard for me to say, um, who is on the president's cabinet right now, who has posted videos about overturning the 19th Amendment. For those of you who aren't aware, the 19th Amendment is women's suffrage. Suffrage, by definition, is the right to vote. Again, we're wanting to end rights here. Now, while no motion has, to the best of my knowledge, has been put forward like that, there are a ton of conservatives who want to put an end to my right, my fought for and earned right. Did I necessarily fight for it? No, but those who came before me did, and I'm incredibly thankful for that. My right to vote. It was within my lifetime that women were able to own their own businesses, have checking accounts, apply for loans, and be granted those loans. In my lifetime, my lifetime. I'm not even 50 years old yet. Like, mind blown for those of you who didn't know. Um, that's recent history. Recent history. And here we are. Here we are, taking away more rights. Where does it end? Where does the slippery slope end? And we're quickly devolving into an authoritarian government. And I hear conservatives talk all the time about, yeah, I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. Well, you know what? When they're done coming for us, I promise they're going to be coming for you. And what happens if you're a devout Christian? What happens if your particular brand of Christianity isn't the one that the government backs? What then? What then? I'm so frustrated with these people that are so short-sighted you can't see past the tip of your nose as far as taking away rights. Like, I am kind of glad that that this particular party has not um, spouted the F word, the freedom word anymore, because it doesn't apply to you anymore. You are no longer the party of freedom. You are the other F word, which is most definitely not free. You have started very quickly to devolve, if you haven't already completely devolved, into fascism. Please Google that word. Google the definition of fascism, because that word is tossed around all the time, and I don't think every person who uses it understands it. So please Google it, because you're there. You're limiting rights. You're um, absolutely doing the wrong thing. And I have to go into work. Um, but I had to get these thoughts out. So maybe I'll edit the video, try to. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Just had to have thoughts. So if you agree, if you don't agree, whatever, do the things you need to do on the video. Thanks. Have a good day. Be blessed.